Test, test. Back on. All right. Let's see. Go live, connect to video source. Oh, gotta start that. Video source started. Go live here. All right. Lulu's going at it out there. But we're back no matter what. We got to get going. We got to get this car taken care of. So I'm going to take my watch off. I brought my other battery. And I got to find my zip tie. So I can get this battery mounted. Where did I put my zip ties? Oh, here they are. Oh, by the way, forgot to mention, Euro Tuning sent me a box. I am a huge fan of Euro Tuning, more so even now that they just hit me up and like, hey, Al, we see you're back at it again. Can we get you a little box? I was just like, bro, let's do this. You know? And I'm wearing one of their older shirts, and I love their shirts, by the way. So this shirt has been amazing. Been through some it's been through some stuff, I'll tell you that. Okay. Mounted that battery to my tripod so I can hook up my camera to it, my phone, so I can live stream on Insta. Because live streaming on your phone is definitely detrimental to the battery's health. Again, we're live now on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. I don't need zip ties for this job. So the next step here is we're removing the other piece of suspension on the other side. Oh, Lulu. Same process. We're going to need the chisel, the 18 ratchet, and our 13. I don't think I'll need a Torx on this side though. Spider in there. Got him. Now we're going to turn this over. So whenever you work on your suspension, when you work on the right side, you turn it to the left. When you work on the left side, you turn it far to the right. It helps a lot. To get the job done a little bit quicker than normal. Okay, remove the airline. That. Now we're gonna get our 18 right here. We're gonna break this guy loose. All right, we're gonna hold on to the nut. We're gonna grab our gun. We're gonna take it off with this guy, zip it quick in. Nice zippity doo-dah. Pull that off. Now with the chisel, again, hit it right here. I need my hammer. It's just Lulu making noise. Other dog is barking next door, so I was gonna go and check out what's going on, but it's just the dogs yelling at each other. All right. Again, you get the chisel. And just give it a couple taps until it crams itself in there. Sometimes it just doesn't want to work with you. Okay, that's in, and then we're gonna go get the 313s on top. The blunt end of this will get it off, but we don't want this to drop all the way. Again, you never want your control arm to drop. Sometimes it'll damage the axle. If you have like a Mark 5 and up, so Mark 5, 6, 7s, and I don't know about 8s, but the axles are so short to the spindle, you run a huge risk of popping your axle out. Mark 4s are not that common for this problem, but it is a potential problem, just FYI. Well, here's the top one came out. So let's see if we can get this guy to ejecto, cedo, cause come on. There we go. All right, this bag is out, just like that. Second bag removed. Now we got to work on the rear bags. Now the problem with this is that I can't get, maybe I can. Let's find out. You know what? I'm gonna try. You know, when you build a shop and you get a lot of Wi-Fi and strong Wi-Fi and good Wi-Fi, you can find solutions to everything. All right, so we're now on the rear bags. The rear bags are freaking cake. And what I mean by cake, they are the easiest things to remove on the VW world on a Mark IV. Now I'm going to show you guys a trick to make it even easier. Always, and I mean always, put a jack inside. I don't care if you do or don't care about your suspension. I do. So when you unbolt the shock up here, what's going to happen is that this is a solid rear beam axle, and it's only held in the air by 4 bolts to prevent it from dropping all the way to the ground. It's 4 bolts, 2 16s on each side. That's it. So we want to break loose the bottom one first. I think this is a 16 as well, or a 17. Break it loose. You can even get it to the point where it's almost removed, but don't remove it. Just take the nut off. And then remove the top 16s. And what's going to happen, this is only as dire to people with using, if you have springs, like coilovers, because it's always under pressure or constant tension. So when you unbolt it on this side, it's going to go bang, and it's still going to be held because you still have the rear shock. But when that one is unbolted, it's going to swing down, and you have a potential of damaging the rear brake line by pulling really hard on it when it drops. So putting the jack underneath it and then unbolting it prevents it from dropping really hard. That's it. That is all. So I'm gonna go grab a 16 and an extension. And if you can, get the longest extension that you have. It makes your life a lot better when removing it. Do not get a deep socket, get a shallow 16 when you remove the top ones. I'm going to confirm it's a 17 for the bottom. It's been a while. Nope, looks like it's a 16 as well. Yep. So 16 for the top and bottom. Make sure you have a wrench for it, because you're going to need it. All right, so first things first, just break loose the top 2. Okay, break them loose. Get a shorter socket, and then you're gonna do the same thing over here. Hold the wrench. This is definitely in the way for this project. And if you have an electric gun, it'll be beneficial, because this bolt is longer than your other bolts, so these are going to take a little longer to remove. Okay, now that's done. Okay, bye. Bye, Mama. Bye, I'll see you in a little bit. Huh? Yeah. This guy is not being easy for me. There we go. Got the angle and the dangle. Okay. Ooh, don't pull it all the way out though. Don't pull your suspension all the way out on the bottom. Just FYI. Now, remove the top bolts. Okay. And you can now drop this side a little bit. And now you'll see it's being held. It's not bouncing, but you can see you still got the other shock on the other side to remove. So oh, it would help if I remove the bolt. Okay, so rear shock is now removed. We're gonna pull this line back. I'm gonna have to cut that one because I forgot. I used commercial grade airline fittings. They're not consumers. These are a lot harder to remove. So to remove the rear airbag, I need a different bolt. I'll get to that one. Let me remove the other bag and then we'll get to that. I'll show you guys what I mean. I went to an actual semi shop where they make hydraulic lines for semis and airlines for semis. And I bought all the fittings for that. I got rid of all the fittings from airlift. Because I bought the basic airlift like a kit. And for how much money they charge for their air suspension, you get the crappiest fittings known to man. They don't hold air whatsoever over time. They just fail. And you pay a lot for it. So I decided no more. And I went to a hydraulic store and they had the much better stuff. And actually, for about the same price, which is kind of annoying actually. All right, next step. Ooh, I'm gonna get my camera to record the next portion for the DIY. All right, well again, welcome whoever's watching. And if you're not watching, it's all gonna be recorded, so you'll be able to watch it afterwards. But hi everyone, we're working on this, so we'll see you guys as I work. All right, so the next step here on the Mark IV is to go underneath here. You have two 16s on top and you got a 16 on the bottom. You want to remove the nut from down here first, and then you're going to break loose the ones on top, and then at the end we're going to zip them off. All right, and then we'll be able to get this shock out. Once that shock has been removed, we'll be able to get that bag out afterwards. So like I said, I'm gonna go really quick. Break it loose. Break it loose. Take this guy. And then we're gonna go down here, break this one loose. And then with your gun, zip off the bottom one. And then we're going to zip off the top two. Remember, use the jack to hold the suspension in place so it doesn't drop on you. You guys can see here, we have the jack here. It's holding the control arm or the beam in place. And now we're going to break it loose. We're going to drop the whole suspension down. Let's see here. Pull that out. Now we have access to the bag. And then we can unbolt the bag from the bottom. And then once we got that, I'm going to cut this line because I'm replacing the lines. So I'm just going to cut this air line and then pull the whole bag out. I think it's a 16. No. The bottom nut is probably 13. No, a little bit bigger. Wasn't 16. 14, that is the weirdest size. All right, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cut the line, get my nippers. I'm gonna cut it pretty long because I want to be able to yank it out of the bag. Okay, we're gonna go down here, break this, remove this plate. This plate holds the bag in place. I just want to pop out. Give it a little love. All right, rear bag number 1 removed. Remove the other rear bag. All right, full air suspension removed in under an hour. I mean, not too bad. I'm not here to brag, but I'm good at what I do. I love what I do. Yeah, there you go. Now, I'm not removing management because I'm going to redo the management on this, but I will get pretty close to removing most of it. And you'll see front, rear, bags and the rear shocks have been removed. Now, the reason why I removed them, let me take out this nutsert. You'll see here on these two bags, this one blue, because you can see where it was rubbing. See this hole here? It was rubbing on the bag, on the actual beam. You guys can see this. It rubbed a hole right into the bag right here. And you'll see this guy, it's already been tearing. You can see it's cracking. It's rotting right here in the bottom. All of this has been rotting. And even this one more than the other one. It's been rotting pretty bad. So it's rubber. It's supposed to wear. I mean, it's not supposed to last forever. Here's the upper bag. And let's see if I can. What's crazy, I don't see much wear on this bag at all. That's pretty gnarly. These bags are actually pretty well taken care of. Again, we're going to see what Raceland does for me, because their bags are guaranteed for life. That is on their website, and it is something they push, especially on their website. When you even go to their website to buy something. Now, you can see here, the rears didn't last. This is the plastic for the rear. And the rear shocks are done. You'll see here, look. They don't even move up. You can definitely know that the rear shocks are 100% blown. I know that. You can just tell by how not shocky, absorby these are. It kind of sucks because, but at the same time, that's what I'm buying. That's why I'm sending these out. I'm curious. These are not too bad. That one's on its way out for sure. This one's not too bad. Usually you want a shock to pull up. The amount of force that you push down, and when it comes up, it should rebound or come back up pretty quickly. But it did not on this one. This one it did. You can see here how nice that came back up. And this one's, you know, it's put in the effort, but it's not going all the way up as the VW gods intended, right? So for sure we're sending this all into Raceland. I got to find my receipt from 9 years ago. I kept my records. I keep all my purchases, all my records, just because I want to see if ever these fail on me, the manufacturer will, you know, how do you say, honor their warranty. We'll see. We will see in the next coming weeks, because this is going to be shipped out probably, if I can, probably RMA it tomorrow in the morning and ship them out tomorrow morning. I got a bunch of other things I got to ship out. So I'm hoping for an RMA from them. But yeah, rear shocks are done. Next is the front bumper. Once the front bumper is removed, we're going to take the rear bumper off, because we're going to get ready to replace the rear crash support tomorrow. And we're going to repair the front bumper support as well, so we can get the front end replaced or redone, I guess, if you want to call it that. So now we're going to be working on the front end on this. Get you guys over here. All right, let's see who's on here. Anthony Bulgar, how long have they been installed for, and how long did they last? 9 years. Yeah, it's been a long time, man. Been a long time. So that's legit. Like, to me, that's worth every penny of my investment. And Anthony, just so you know, I'm using Airlift's V2 management, okay? The Airlift V2 has survived 2 cars. The manifold and the controller was in 2 cars, and one of the cars caught fire, and the fire department drowned the inside of the car with all my management in it, and it survived. That to me shows Airlift's quality on their electrical side, like their management was phenomenal. But the V2 Airlift management has always been known to be bulletproof. It is the best management, period, for air suspension on any vehicle. Doesn't matter what car you drive, like a truck or a VW. Even if you have air suspension for workloads, right? You know, you use air suspension to lift the back of a truck to put more loads on them, like I did on my F-150. That's management is phenomenal. It's so easy to install, very few wires. I love it. Right? That's right. It's insane. And I have proof. I have proof of all of that because I'll pull out when I get to the trunk later, um, I'll pull the manifold out and you'll see the manifold all rusted. All the fittings and the sides are rusted, the metal portions, because most of it's plastic. But if you look inside and some of the sides, it's all rusted when they hosed down my car in the fire. It survived. The air tank survived. The management survived. The V2 controller survived. The V2 controller, you can actually see inside the screen where the water was. And all I did was I just unplugged everything and I let it outside in the air to dry, and it turned on perfectly fine. No issues. Again, insane. The only thing that failed on my V2 management was the pressure controller. It does not detect any pressure in the tank to auto turn on or off the compressor. That's the only thing that failed. You know what? I put a manual, an old school check pressure valve, solved the problem. Cost me $10 to fix it. Can't complain. All right, next step is to clean up and get ready to do the next job. Gotta make sure all my tools are set aside or cleaned up. Hardware placed back where it belongs so we don't lose anything. This brake line is not happy, so we're gonna try to pull this over here. I'm probably gonna zip tie it right there. Yeah, that's a good idea. Zip tie the knuckle to the axle so it doesn't want to go everywhere. You know, especially once I start messing around in this area, don't want to cause any weird problems. See here? The knuckle now points that way, doesn't put any tension on the line. We're good. Oh, speaking of the lines, I got brake lines I got to put in this car too. I got new brake lines coming in. We're going to do a lot of freshening up. A lot of freshening up on this car. You know what? I'm going to keep the hardware separate because I don't know if they're going to send me back the hardware or not. So got to make sure I take everything else off. All right. All the knuckles are pretty much good. And put away my tools and start on the next. Again, I'm just talking to myself, so you're gonna hear me repeat a lot. I do that a lot when I'm working. It's how I remember my steps. So. But I have to make sure I clean up so I don't have too much stuff to clean up afterwards. All right. That's good, that's good, that's good. Okay. I think I'm gonna need this bad boy. Yep. So we're gonna remove the front grille. I don't think it's held by much. And then we'll remove the rest. So that my front bumper has gone through hell and back. I've done so much shaving to that bumper to get the intercooler to fit. That intercooler took so long to get fitted on this car. It's crazy. So we need to get a little pick here so we can get that off. But let's see if we got comments. Let's see. I've been super happy with the bag so far. Nice. Nice. We're going to get up close and personal with my Mark IV now. Oh, that broke. Lame, I'm gonna have to weld that. Again, old car problems, you know? Gotta love it. So I need a T30, not a T25. T27. No, T27 is the right size. Need my adapter. And zip these guys off. You'll notice I don't have the hardware mounted here or here because I didn't want to do it. I think that bumper is going to fall off right now. I think that's all that was holding on to it. Nope. There's a couple little things down here. All the zip ties, bro. If you don't have zip ties holding your car together, then you're doing it wrong. Oh, more zip ties. All right, front end removed. Now you guys can see my actual intercooler setup. So now remember, it's all 1.75, so 1 3/4 in and out to the same size throttle body piping. Same goes for my intercooler piping. It's 1.75, my charge pipe, and everything is all the same diameter. The only time it's smaller is a 2-inch, I think 1.5 inch to 1.75 from the actual turbo. That's it. That's the only part that's a different diameter. So, all these dang cobwebs. Filbert, I am so sorry for neglecting you so much. So sorry. All right, so front bumper's done. We're going to now take off the rear bumper. But if you guys have any questions about my front end setup, let's see that Corrado. There it is over there. Here, I'll give you a little close-up of it. Okay, the wheels that it has on it right now are just rollers. No, it's a 1.8T. Ivan. No, it's a 1.8T big turbo Corrado. 6-speed, 6-speed swap. I mean, 6-speed manual. What is it? Geez, what else did I do to it? Standalone wire harness, so it has nothing to do with the dash. We're gonna actually the dashes we're gonna have it custom built next. Very cool. But yeah, that's that Corrado is actually gonna be worked on. Not this car, not the second. It's my third car, so it's gonna be the third car we're gonna be working on after the Mark IV. So the Mark IV is currently the what we got to finish because there's a lot to work on. Oh, nice. So yeah, you can see. So integrated engineering intake manifold, 1000 cc injectors, integrated engineering internals, Wesco pistons. What is it? TDI crank. So ALH TDI crank. SuperTech valve train. What is it? SuperTech valve train. What else is it? Because it's a 1.9 liter. It's not a 1.8 anymore. Big turbo, obviously. And then interior. Seats. I have the other seat over there outside, but Mark 6, 0 button. So flat bottom Mark 6 steering wheel. No buttons on it. I got a Cooler Works top mounted shifter. Full stereo system that's actually pulled out, but yeah. And then air suspension. And a bunch of other stuff I can't even list right now. Just trying to finish everything else I'm doing. But yeah, that's my Mark IV. That's only one of my Mark IVs. I have many more. But this is the one I want to finish up first and then work on the rest of it. So we're going to work on the back end now. The trunk, not the trunk, but the rear bumper has to come off, and we're swapping out the rear crash support for a European crash support. The reason for this, it's shorter and allows for European bumpers to fit better. So we got to remove the tail lights. Tail lights need to be removed, and then the back bumper is pretty much held together by like 4 screws. It's not much. All right, I don't think I can get you guys on YouTube over here. I got to figure that out. And see, Stephen, wait, I miss Filbert, and you too, of course. Stephen, you got rid of your Mark IV. You made me sad, buddy. You sold it. You have betrayed me, Stephen. That's the one I gave you a motor for, too. Well, traded you a motor, and I swapped the motor for you. Remember that? I remember that. I got that car running so good before it left California, and then you left me. Made me sad, Stephen. Oh, that hurt. But I'm happy, though. Someone else got it, though. Okay. Remove the rear wiring. And then take the bulb assembly out. And then you should have access to, what is it, 1, 2, 3 little nuts that hold the taillight in this side. Now I hate doing these because they're really tiny nuts and they're in a really tight space. I'm trying to get just get comments going and see. Nice, Ivan. So we're getting the rear end taken care of. Trying to go as quick as I can because it's going to get late and then I'm going to get tired and I got to wake up super early tomorrow to do more work. If you can, when you remove the rear nuts, if you can, get a magnet in there. It will help. I can't remember if it's a 10 or an 8. It's an 8. Okay. There's one. You don't put these on really tight, they just go on. That was an extension. Or an extension on top of my extension. Now this one is going to be a tough one because your hand doesn't really fit really well back here. go. So those three removed. I'm gonna pop this tail light. Shouldn't be any more. Remember it only being three. Ah, yep, three. You just got to be careful with that one on the bottom. If you have old tail lights like mine, they like to stick to stuff and crack like that. Whew. Now when you remove them, put the hardware back on. It's a good rule of thumb to always put hardware back onto something that you took off, if you can. Okay, so tail light one, done. Oh, I'm not gonna try too hard. All right, next we got the left tail light to go. And then we're gonna do the bumper removal. So you got 1, 2, where's number 3? The third one on this one is always the most annoying. It's like somewhere down here in this corner. Always pull out the bulb assembly. I don't remember where the last freaking nut is. Well, I'm gonna remove these really quick, and then I'll see if I can find the other one. Because there's 3. There's 1 here, 2 here, and there's 1 more somewhere in this corner. I just don't remember where. This is the one I hate the most because it's inside a crevice, just like the other one. And it's super risky to remove. And you're going to drop a freaking nut. I hate it. So you put the magnet underneath it. to help catch it so you don't drop it. Okay, there's 2. Where's number 3? It's been a while, as you guys can tell, like a long while since I pulled a tail light of a Mark IV. Huh, it was just 2. But it broke. That sucks. See here, so old, it just broke. Ah, that sucks. Good thing I have a brand new spare set, but oh, and I love these tail lights. These are the Smoked Factory OEM ones. I could probably fix that, so I'm not gonna, how do you say, be super angry about it, but I'm angry about it. Ah, ow, 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 ow. So you guys can see here, it's 1 and 2. So 2 for the left side, 3 for the right. All right, so next step is removing the bumper bolts here. 1, 2. There's no more for the Mark IV on this style bumper. I know everybody on YouTube can't see what I'm doing. It sucks because the camera is tethered. Everybody over here on TikTok gets to enjoy it. But I swear it's not that amazing. You know, it's just me removing a bumper. All right. I swear is it. Pull that extension out. All right, so we got that portion done. And there's a T25 over here. I have a couple T25s, so I need this gun really quick. A couple down here. That's 2 on this end. That's not a T25. I don't even know what that is. That's a Phillips. Ay, ay, ay. Let's get that one removed. All right, I'm gonna look underneath if I have it held by anything else, which I don't think I did. No. The next thing I have to worry about though is this guy. I have a flip up license plate holder. Not a very common thing at all. The reason for this is because it's my harness. This is my tow harness for my lights. And I have to cut this. I'm going to cut this off because I'm going to make a brand new harness, all properly integrated and insulated. So that's going to go bye-bye. Gonna solder it, gonna braid it. I'm probably gonna make it a quick connect so I don't have to cut it again. Make it like a plug and play harness. You know, it's like, oh, I need to run the trailer this week. You gotta plug it in, and just a quick plug in and call it done. There we go. So that's disconnected. All right. Move that out of the way. Oops. Got some old LEDs back here. Cut those off. Again, we're no longer going to need them. Bumper is removed. We're going to run some pretty smart wiring. We're going to do some probably some programmable LEDs for the license plates. I don't know yet. I kind of want to do late 90s, early 2000s, like lighting vibe. I want to bring back the old school, just old school stuff, you know? It's kind of like the vibe I want when I get this done. Now, if you see here, I notched my bumper, my crash support. And the reason why I did that is so this can sit further back. But you can only do it about like maybe a quarter inch or so, and you still have a problem because it's still, the bar itself still sticks out too far. I have actually the factory German replacement of this bar, so I can actually mount this correctly for the Mark IV. Just so you guys know. All right, so that's done. Now let's get to, oh geez, that's my battery. All right, so now we're at the front of the car again. Hi everybody. Hey, buenos, mamalón. Esa es la mamalona, güey. Oh. Y saludos de México. Aquí saludos desde Arkansas, güey. All right. So what we did and what we accomplished in a very, very, very little time, we removed the entire air suspension. I removed the front end, the rear end, the wheels. So that's all taken care of. The next step in our adventure or endeavor will be to make this engine bay not look like trash. But I can't do that inside the shop because it's going to be really messy. I want to get to that because I got to pull all this out. I got to clean all my wiring. There's a lot of work that has to be done in this bay to get it back up to my original the original standards that this was. So I got a lot of work coming for me. See what else is there. I'm gonna probably take this whole front core support off, drain the coolant, drain the oil, give it a fresh oil change, new coolant, because it sat for too long. Take the valve cover off. Yeah, the valve cover is gonna come off. Throttle body's coming off. Gonna paint all that, get that all cleaned up, and then repaint it. And then get all that cleared out. I mean, there's a lot of little things that have to get taken care of in the engine bay. And then once that's all taken care of here, I'm gonna get new T-bolt clamps for here, up here, and over there for the intercooler. Clean the wiring. We're gonna put a new fuel rail in. I got an engineering fuel rail that needs to go in. We're gonna use AN lines, and we're gonna make AN lines. We're gonna have a DIY shop, DIY class on how to make AN lines and how to make push-in, press-in fittings and stuff like that. So we can make catch can lines, we can make coolant lines, or just anything that we can use with an AN fitting, right? We're also gonna have a little class doing hard lines, because I'm gonna be doing all the air lines for the trunk. We're gonna do some hard lines in the trunk, and we're gonna do some reupholstery work. So yeah, Filbert's gonna be torn all the way down, and we're gonna bring them back. Just bring them back to show-stopping, you know, not show-stopping, but bring back my Mark IV the way I had it in the glory days when I was driving it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. We're bringing them back. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna redo the stereo system. Man, I just got some memories. Just got some awesome memories with my friends in this car, especially with my wife. Had a lot of good times here. All right. Again, if you guys are watching this and you're enjoying this kind of content, make sure you go to my YouTube channel, PincheAls Garage, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. As always, on top of that, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, follow me on TikTok, YouTube. And the reason why, I give away a lot of stuff. On top of giving away stuff, I teach a lot of stuff. I also help the community a ton. If you have questions or concerns and you need ideas for your car, your Mark IV build, your Mark V, Mark VI, and Mark VII, I got pretty decent knowledge. I'm not gonna say I'm the smartest guy out there. I ain't no humble mechanic, put it that way. That guy knows his stuff, and I respect that man so much. I wish one day I can meet him, because I love him. Guy has so much knowledge, it's insane. But I'm a Mark IV guy. I love Mark IVs. I live, breathe, poop Mark IVs. So I'll be here to help you guys with any advice or any questions you guys have. Always do my best to hit you guys up. I'm not doing this full time now, so definitely bother me as much as you guys can. You know, not exaggerating. But if you saw this earlier, we removed the Raceland air suspension. The reason why we did that, because the rear bags started to rot and the front bags are losing their suspension. They actually don't have rebound anymore, like not the rebound, but the shock absorbers failing. Same goes for the rear shocks. The rear shocks are completely blown. Raceland guarantees their stuff for life. So if you guys are watching this, tag Raceland suspension company in my videos, because we're gonna have a full warranty review of their product. Meaning, I'm gonna send these out for RMA because they're guaranteed for life. I am the original purchaser of these bags, and I'm gonna send them out. I'm gonna see how hassle-free this process is and see what comes back. See if I get my a new set of bags or I get my same crap back. I don't know. We will see. If I get a brand new set of bags, or actually, you know, serviced, like if they reservice them, you know, they rebag them, they revalve them, and they service them correctly, I'm okay with that as well. Like I'm 100% okay with that, as long as I have a fresh air suspension. Next thing, one thing I tell people about airbags, one of the biggest failure points on an airbag or air suspension is the press and fittings, the ones where you press in your lines, and they suck if you have the cheap plastic ones. I use brass nickel plated, what do you call, semi-grade air fittings. You get these at hydraulic stores if you can. These will outlast your bags and they will never, ever leak. They have a swivel head, okay? The head swivels, so when the bag moves up and down, if it does twist a little bit, you don't bend your line ever. These are fantastic. These are the way to go. They're typically $3 to $5 a fitting, and they are worth the investment, especially if you daily your car and you're just constantly airing up, or you're constantly, the air tank is losing air, or your bags are just losing air in general while they sit outside. This will prevent that problem, guaranteed. They're meant to be working on heavy loads like tonnage. You know, they're supposed to put a ton of weight on these and pressure, so they're not meant to leak. You want a semi-leaky bags? No, you don't want that. Another reason why we're shipping these out for RMA, if you see here, the bag is cracking. It's got a fat crack because it's dry rotting. It's old. It's actually starting to rot here in the bottom. This is one of the bags. Here's another one. Now this one is interesting because it started to rub. The rear bag was rubbing a hole right into it. And you guys can see that right here. They're not meant to do that. So I'm curious if Raceland is willing to upgrade me to the double bag, the double bellow bag, versus a single sleeve bag. I would love the higher performance version of this bag because I would have less risk of it rubbing and making a hole. We are going to be removing the rear beam on this car and installing polyurethane rear beam bushings. So that will be a DIY coming soon as well. We're going to do rear beam bushings. We got to do control arm bushings for some of my DIY content. We're also going to be probably pulling the core support on the front end to get it all cleaned out and painted. I believe this radiator is my lifetime radiator, so I'm probably going to go swap out that radiator too. Ooh, we got to hit up, I got to hit up Stage 8 Performance hardware. We got to get new hardware for the downpipe. We're going to get new hardware for the turbo. I got to get from them new hardware for the motor mounts and some other stuff I forgot. I'll remember when I get to that, but yeah, we're probably going to, I'm really thinking about pulling the engine. I don't know yet. We'll see. I might have to because I need a clutch. I want to do a clutch on this car too. I need a new clutch on it. It's starting to slip. You know, I don't have much pressure on it anymore due to the, I mean, I was pushing 400 plus horsepower on this car and I drove it like it was pushing 400 horsepower on a daily, and I towed with it. Just so you guys know, this car was towing. It wasn't just doing driving. It towed my trailer. And that's also what's coming in here too. After this car is done, my trailer's gonna come in and get done too. Hector, But if you ain't rubbing, then you ain't dubbing. But I don't think that was for the bags. That's right, buddy. That's so true. All right. Oh, what happened here? Due to inactivity? I was on the entire time. What's going on? That's so weird. Is because I didn't tap on the screen? Is that it? Anybody on here that's on TikTok or does TikTok stuff? Is that honestly what it does? Is if you're not touching the screen, you're not on active? I mean, the whole point of live is just to do stuff. I don't know. Oh, I almost forgot. I 3D printed the tool that you need to tighten your gas tank seal. This tool right here goes around the ring and it gives you the ability to turn it by hand and tighten it correctly by hand versus using a chisel and hammer. If this is really good, I'm going to redesign it. And make it kind of my version of it. So I'm really curious about it. But yeah, this is a new tool that I found online as an STL. I really like it. I hope I really like it and works out for me because I really want it to work. I have to work on cleaning this up in a little bit. But I printed it out ABS plastic, so it's supposed to be going to be really tough. We'll work on that later. But there's that. If you guys have any other questions, before I say bye, thank you again for tuning in. Roger, Francisco, welcome, welcome. Everybody else is tuning in. You know, I'm back on. I'm just trying to say hi to everybody. I'm not a big TikToker, so I'm just doing lives on there. But that's it. That's it for my live tonight. If you guys have any other questions, I'm going to call it a night. It is 9:40 p.m. over here in Arkansas. And I did a lot. I did a lot. Yeah, front and rear bags removed. Dang. Front and rear bumper also removed. Next will be coolant, drain the oil, remove the core support, or remove the intercooler, remove the core support, remove all the piping, the plumbing, clean everything else up. Yeah, I got a laundry list of stuff to do. All right. Hey, Johnny boy. Hi. Welcome for joining in all the way from California, huh? We're over here in Arkansas. Thank you, Hector. Love you too, buddy. I appreciate that, man. I miss being on YouTube and Facebook. I mean, I miss working on cars, and I'm finally back at it. So I'm excited, super excited. Oh, let me put I'll put my old wheels up. I'm gonna go take these to the shop and have the tires removed so I can wall mount them. But I still have them. I've had these for a long time. By the way, that's real copper. That ain't no paint job. This is legit copper plated Alfords. And I have the other two put away. So if you guys know these wheels, if you've seen these wheels in person, you would definitely know that that is real copper, and that's a copper plated wheel. And I love how they look, but I have a new wheel and a new look that I'm doing coming in for this year, and it's gonna be so much more different than my previous years when I had done builds on my cars. Yeah, what's up, Johnny boy? What's your question? Definitely have a second for you, buddy. That's what I'm here for. What's your question? All right. Hey. I gotta order new O-rings for the fuel injectors. I'm gonna turn this guy on since it's gonna be the last time it's gonna be driven on like this. Fired right up. That's right. That's how you build a car. Oh, dang, Johnny. Give me a second. Yeah, buddy. Starts off like a dream. I love it. Car runs so good still. And it's sat for almost a year. Okay, so bro, I put a Walbro 450 and a 4 bar full fuel pressure regulator, and I'm getting oil, bad oil. Wolfpack Tuning did my ECU and it made a brick. I can't even start my car. Okay, number one, why did you put a 4 bar in your car? And number two, getting oil, what do you mean by getting bad oil? Like where is the oil going into in the car? Is it going in the coolant? or is it going in your gas, or like, is it? You got to be more specific. Past the rings? Well, yeah. If it's going past your rings are fried. That's nothing to do with tuning. That's just your rings are done. You know, you're gonna have to put some piston rings in there, rebuild the motor pretty much. You can't. That has nothing to do with tuning whatsoever. That's just bad rings. The but on top of that though, yeah, gas into the oil. Yeah, that means it's pouring gasoline. It's probably not igniting correctly, and it's dumping gas through the rings. But you have to understand, you got the motor built. Did you break it in before you put any boost into it? Did you do a full break-in process, or you just put a motor in your car and you started driving it? Like, and on top of that, you got a tune from a group of people I've never even heard of, Wolfpack Tuning. Like, what is this Wolfpack Tuning? I've never heard of this company before. It's just like a random. Yeah, it's a Facebook group. Yeah, I knew it. Let's see here. They have a what? What is this? I've never even heard of this. What? They got the Chinese lug nuts. They got that billet forks. Like, what do they sell? I don't even know what they sell. Here, let's check out their catalog. Okay, so it's Honda stuff, JDM stuff. Yeah, they're in Tampa, Florida. It's a JDM shop. So why did you go to a JDM shop for a European car? I'm curious. And where did you get their tuning? Because I'm trying to find something about them. You know, I go by my tried and true company. I always go deal with either Carrot Top tuning, or I deal with Boost Dynamic tuning. I don't want to deal with anybody else because they're tried and true. They've been around forever and they know what they're doing because he's been doing it forever. And he doesn't just tune, just any car. He tunes a lot of cars. And that's why I'm just curious, like, what's going on, Where does he get his credentials for tuning? Yeah, I mean, okay, so he bricked your ECU, right? So he bricked an ECU. Let me turn these guys around over here so you guys can see what we're talking about here. He bricked your ECU. Have you contacted him? Did you contact them and ask them what they can do for you with the bricked ECU? Like, what's going on? Because if your car's not starting and all you did was pull an ECU out, ship it out to them, did you label your ECU to make sure you got what you sent to them back? He just gave you back half your money? Well, there you go. That answers it right there off the bat. They don't care. Beef Wellington. I love my beef Wellington, but my 3D printing's been doing pretty good, but I'm not focused on that right now. I just focusing on this car. But yeah. Yeah, but again, Johnny, that immediately answers your question. The guy doesn't care. He doesn't care about making the situation correct. He just cares about making a quick buck on shitty tuning. That's it. I'm sorry. If there's a company or a group of people that'll be like, oh yeah, bro, just tuning, and then he bricks your ECU and gives you back half your money after a complaint, yeah, bro. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about their customers. He doesn't care about the service. He doesn't care about making it right. That's it. So your answer is, I would go find a stock Mark IV ECU, send it out to Boost Dynamic Tuning, have them give you a base tune, okay, on that ECU. Yeah, you can do that. I have my phone, I have my other phone right here, so we can definitely do that. Now I got my Instagram right here waiting for your call. So give me a quick call. I'm not shutting down my live, so we can talk. Oh, so it's a narrow band? Okay. That's even easier to tune. The only thing that I have to worry about is because it's a narrow band, so you have to really depend on um, all your other stuff. But it should turn on. There's no reason for it to not run. Just so you know. But give me a call. I'm right here. I'm waiting for your call right now. It'll have to be tomorrow. Okay. Well, if you're getting gas and okay, if you're getting gas, just so you know, into your oil, either the rings aren't set correctly or you didn't break in the engine correctly. That's number one. Number two, even if it's dumping gasoline into it, okay, into your cylinders, it should just pump it out to the exhaust. It should not pass the rings. If it does, obviously you're not firing, so it's not running. So I would double check spark, double check air, and double check fuel. Okay, obviously you're getting fuel, you're getting air because it's just pumping up and down. So I would double check your spark. If there's no spark at all on your car, it could be a dead ECU. It could be a bad ground. It could be bad wiring. What happens on the main harness for the Mark IV, there is a ground. There is a ground on the harness. Now, if you painted the valve cover and you put the ground wire back on the valve cover painted, it's not grounded. It's not gonna fire. It's just gonna crank. So hopefully you didn't do that, but if you did, just sand that spot down, put the ground wire back on. It should be back up and running. It should fire after that. If it's already grounded and that nut is on there and everything's going, then that's not the problem. Double check the ECU. Since it's a narrow band, it's going to be very hard to find another narrow band B5 ECU. You're going to have to go hunt the junkyards. That's the only downside of that. You're going to hunt. And more likely it's a manual transmission. So you're also going to have to find a narrow band B5 with a manual transmission. I'm telling you right now, I'm sorry for all your problems, and I'm sorry for Wolfpack Tuning failing you. You know, it sucks. They done you dirty, and they gave you back half your money, which means, again, I reiterate, they don't care about you. All right. Anybody else? Yo, I tell you what you want, what I really, really want. Compression test. I have 2 ECU. Can ECU be retuned? Yeah, you can retune any ECU. It's not a problem. Compression test on a brand new motor will give you bad, how do you say, bad results because it's not broken in. Just so you know, you have to break in the motor so the rings set. If the rings don't set, then they're always going to have fluids. You're going to have blow by. You're going to have gas going down. You're going to even have oil going up. Thank you, Wayne. They have to be set. If they don't set after what 500 miles, it's never gonna fix itself. You're gonna have low compression no matter what. Any engine from the start is gonna have low compression, but it should start. Period. Low compression doesn't mean that the engine's broken on a brand new build. It just means it needs to be broken in. Once the rings get set, yeah. But in your scenario, did it run after you built the motor? How about that question, Johnny? Did you have it running? So you ran the piss out of it. You gotta give me more. Give me a little bit more information. Come on. I gotta close this back door. It's getting cold. I know you've always been a stubborn guy. So no, you do not run the piss out of any car. Okay? You do not run the piss out of any freshly built engine. Okay? I know, right, Rain? So every engine I've ever built, and I built a lot of engines, just like Wayne here, you turn on the engine. Once you put it in the car, I've done a video about this, okay? 1.8, all my 1.8Ts and my VR6s, I've done it. I've broken in this procedure. And I got this procedure from Integrated Engineering, which builds full-on race motors, okay? That's what you can buy a full-on crate race engine from them, and this is how they break them in. Number one, you turn it on, you run it for 10 minutes at idle, right in your driveway. Just turn it on, keep it on jack stands, have a box of oil filters and like 5 jugs of oil ready. Run it for 10 minutes at idle until it gets a full operating temperature. Pretty much it should happen within 10 minutes. Once you hit the 10-minute mark, immediately turn it off. Drain the oil, pull the oil filter off. When you yank the filter off, cut it open. Inspect your filter. Make sure you have glitter that looks like just sparkles, but no chunks. If you see chunks of any metal inside the oil filter or the oil dripping, the bearing, the rod bearings or the main bearings weren't set correctly, or they weren't the right spec. A lot of guys be like, polish, set, crank, go, and you're done. In other words, they didn't mic, they didn't do any, they didn't plastic gauge the crank, which means they might be either too small or they can be too big and it's too tight. You have to have a tolerance. You have to be within a specification. That's why they exist. Okay, same goes with the rod bearings. They have to meet specifications. So 10 minutes, let's assume the oil's clean, in and out. All right, we're good. Drain the oil, fill it. All right, new oil filter. Turn it on. This time you can drive it for 10 minutes or like 10, 15 miles. And this is where you have to set your rings. Okay, this is where the ring setting is like the most vital because the engine's now warm and now we're constricting and we're contracting the engine and the rings. Fill it back up. Go, before you even leave your driveway and turn on the car, Google search a hill. You want a really steep hill going up and you want a steep hill going back down. The most important part of this process is the down, okay? Going down a hill. You put it in second gear and you let it roll down the hill with no acceleration. You just let it go. And what it's doing, it's going to create a back pressure into the pistons. And what that does is that the rings are going like this and they're kind of angled. And what you're doing is you're going to create back pressure and you're going to seat the rings in the proper orientation when they have that. And that's what happens when the engine expands even more when it's really hot. And you're going to do that over and over and over for 10, 15 minutes. Drive back home, jack it back up, drain the oil, full inspection again of your oil. This is the next vital portion of your process of breaking in that motor. Now we're going to see if the rings seat. We're going to see if the bearings are actually fully seated now just by heating it up like that. And then when the oil drains, you're going to actually see inside the oil, okay, more glitter or just sparkles, you know? If it's just like a nice clean stream of glitter, like, and nothing chunky, you officially broke in, not broken, you seated the rings. That part is good. We are in the moving forward transition. Now we put what, 10, 15 miles on the car. Go back, drain the oil, fill it back in. We are strictly doing 20, like 10, 20, 40, 20, 50 weight oil. We're doing super heavyweight oil for the first 2 oil changes. After that, we're gonna go to 10W40 oil weight. We wanna go thinner, but we're going thinner and thinner and thinner as we progress and further into the break-in process. Now, we're gonna add 30 miles, 10 to 30 miles to the car. This is where we drive it and we go up a hill, down a hill, up a hill, down a hill, and just drive around town for 10, 15 miles, 20 miles, even 30 miles is fine, okay? You wanna do that mainly because you want to get those pistons and those rings really, really hot to their normal operating temperature and see if they seat 100%. Now, if you did a full valve train as well, you're gonna be smoking like a mother because those valve seats, those valves and those valve seats have to seat. That's the next process that's gonna happen as they wear in, and they're eventually gonna seal all the way, and then you should have no smoke eventually. Okay, go back, go home, drain the oil. Again, inspect your oil. Every single oil change, we're doing an inspection. Not once though, the entire time of that process, you are in any boost. No boost, 0 boost. For me, I usually just turn my wastegate all the way off until I have 0 boost. In other words, if I floor it, I cannot have any boost. Oh, it sounds so good. Actually, I'm gonna get some. Thank you for saying that because now I want some too. And again, in the entire process, 0 boost. This is a whole day ordeal, by the way, Johnny. So hopefully you're taking some notes, you know. I do this every time when I rebuild a motor. I do it early in the morning because by the time, like, say, 4 or 5 p.m. hits, I probably put 100 miles in the car and I'm ready to drive it normally. No boost still. You don't have any boost until you hit 2,000 to 3,000 miles. That's the worst part of this entire process, is because you cannot enjoy your engine for almost 3,000 miles and you have built a monstrosity of an engine and you cannot enjoy it. And the reason why we do it this way is so you have long-term life in your engine, not just a short life. If you're just trying to, you know, have short-term love for it, then fucking just send it, dude. Ah, Head Tech Razor, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Been working on it. Still not done. I haven't even decorated the room yet. I still have a bunch of stuff to put up, but I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. I'll give you another, you can look over here if you're enjoying that. There you go. Here's my, my motorcycle corner over here. I know I'm getting distracted, but this is like my bike corner. You can see my jacket, my gear, my gloves. I put a bunch of brands over there on the wall, on my bags. You can see all the pegboard I put up and toolboxes. I'm not done. I still have a bunch of other tools missing. And then this is kind of like my tech side of the shop. All my 3D printers are over here, my server rack, all my other stuff is over there. So a lot of stuff in here. There we go. I let it idle for an hour or two and drove it home like 45 minutes. Well, yeah, buddy. That's I'm not gonna say you did it wrong, but you did it wrong. I've been going by integrated engineering's braking process now for my entire career in building motors, and I've never had a motor give me a problem breaking them in that way. Well, after the 30-mile drive, you go back, you feel do an oil change. I agree. Because all they're there is trying to make a quick buck, man. The car influencers and the YouTubers and all those guys out there, they're not there to teach. They're there to get you excited, hyped up, and making you touch a car and get wrenching. I agree. But we have rules, man. There's standards and there's rules into doing this so you have a long-term life with this vehicle that you own. And you spend a lot of time and effort into it, right? We sit there and we wrench, we throw money at it, we throw money at it, we throw money at it, and then we wrench and we throw more money at it, and then it breaks. And then you're just like, oh, you know, for me, it's kind of a little bit different. I threw a bunch of money on it, I drove it a fuck ton, and then I let it sit. And that was my mistake. And that's why we're here now. All right, I'm not gonna rant anymore. So after that third oil change, you still got like another 3 or 4 more oil changes after that, Johnny. You're gonna do an oil change again. Again, you're gonna cut the oil filter open. You're gonna inspect the oil and all that. If everything looks clean, new fresh oil change. We're gonna do 10W40 conventional. We're not even touching synthetic at all yet, okay? And we're gonna drive it for 300 miles. No boost. In other words, a basic ass Honda Civic with no balls, no power, anything. And you're gonna drive it. And drive it for 300 miles. And then go back home, do another oil change. All right? This is where you're like, all right, now we're like at almost 400, 500 miles. We still have 2,500 miles to go. You're gonna do another oil change, but you're gonna go to 10W30 semi-synthetic, that hybrid oil that has conventional and synthetic combined in it. It's like semi-syn, because we're gonna make the transition to full synthetic. That's what happens. Yeah, Wayne, it's a lot of oil. You throw away a lot of oil, but you walk away with an engine that has over 100,000 miles and not a single issue. You know what I mean? You're gonna go to semi-synthetic and you're gonna throw 1,000 miles at it pretty much after that. 1,000 miles on semi-syn. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna do 1,000 miles, semi-synthetic, and then one more 1,000-mile drive with semi-synthetic one more time, 10W30, and then you're down to like what, 2,500 miles. That last oil change, you're gonna go 10W30 full synthetic, okay? And you're done. You can now lay your foot down to the ground and beat on that car because your rings are set, your bearings are set, your everything else that's been touched has been properly broken in and made it to that engine. Everything is taken care of. And now you can just go ham. The next thing you're gonna enjoy probably within the next few months after that, because more than likely whoever built you that motor went cheap on gaskets. You're gonna enjoy oil leaks on the cam seals. You're gonna enjoy oil leaks on your front or rear main seal. You're gonna enjoy, if they even did a good job at all, valve cover and half moon seal leaks for days. I don't know anyone that's into Mark IVs like me who actually follows the factory procedure to put cam caps on and the half moon seal, gas and seal the caps with the proper RTV in the right corners. And yep, Victor Reigns or Male gaskets are pretty much gold. With the proper RTV and then torque them to spec. I've never met anybody that's done it. And literally, whoever does it, yeah, Johnny, yeah. That's just oil. It's only $200. It's only $200. How much did you spend on your engine build? $2,000? It's only 2% or 10% of your build. That's nothing. And now you have an engine that's pissing gas into the oil. $200 is nothing in comparison to what you just spent on a motor that is probably now no good because it wasn't broken in properly. You have to weigh in your investments, and sometimes your investments cost investment money to enjoy them, and it's not cheap. But when it's done right, you know, you get to enjoy it. You get to thoroughly enjoy it and be like, yeah, it's my car and it's reliable and I don't have to deal with all this nonsense. So hopefully, Johnny, you learned something from it. And I am not an influencer in any way, shape, or form. I'm just, hey, what's up, Tish? My girl. She my hula girl. Bam, 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 bam. My hula girl in Oregon. But yeah, again, highly recommended. Deal with that. It ain't cheap, but you'll get it. You'll get it down, buddy. You will. I know you struggled a lot on VWs and Audis. You know, you've always cut corners in a lot of stuff. I have another friend, Sergio, who's religiously a cut corner guy. Like he cuts every single corner imaginable. And every time I tell him stop cutting corners, he's like, "Oh man, but it's so expensive," because you didn't cut the corner. When you go straight and you follow the path, it's expensive. When you cut a corner, there's a reason why it's called a cut corner. There's something missing. There's something missing over here. You know, it happens. You know, I'm not trying to hate on them. I'm just trying to, give them some life information, man. It's just, it happens. It happens on the best of us, and it's going to happen to the best of us, always. I learned that way. I learned the hard way. But you're asking me, so you don't have to learn it. You can learn from someone else's experience. But yeah. All right, man. If you guys have any other questions, I'm here. Or if not, I'm going to go home. Well, not go home, but go to the house, shower, and go to bed. Because I'm going to be back up tomorrow to work on the Mark IV again and do more work. We're going to pull out some of the interior too. We got to get some work done. Yeah. You know what? I won't even say no to that. I would appreciate that, honestly. I would have definitely appreciate that. That's funny. Yeah, it's been 10 years I've been helping you out. And you know what's funny? 10 years you go around my advice. You never go and use my advice 100%. You always go around it. You've never gone into it and taken it fully. You use it, but you don't use it to the full extent. I'm going to call you out on that because that's what happens. Good night, man. So he's leaving now. He got called out. All right, I'm going to call it a night too. No one else has any more questions. I am done for tonight. I did a lot. I mean, I pulled out a full suspension in under an hour. Dang, it's been that long too, huh, buddy? Jeez, Wayne. Yes, we have. Again, it's what I do. I do that for everyone. It's not just you, Wayne. Not just you. I do it for anybody who needs the help. But Wayne and I have gone back for a minute, and so I've always called him. You know, we friends, man. We fam. Shh. We family, buddy. All right, guys. Exactly, some bromance. Just like my buddy Hector. That guy's so awesome. He's my other bromance from San Diego. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Be safe out there. And as always, we're gonna break. Definitely break because you see Filbert broken now. We're gonna fix them, and then we're gonna repeat. Peace out, everyone. Have a wonderful night. And as always, here in PincheAl's garage, if you see another dubber on the road, give him a thumbs up, give him a deuces, respect one another, and as always, love everyone. Peace out. Have a wonderful day. Be safe out there.